Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another topic we're going to be talking about on Dragon Ball Super, which we're going to be talking about the Dragon Balls, more specifically the Super Dragon Balls, and who we believe created them. Now, of course, there's varying theories that we're going to be talking about on display in this video, but before we get started, let me introduce our very special guest to this. Starting off from Iceland, oh wait a second, not Iceland, that's a little bit too small, Antarctica itself. He is the man who rides the polar bears from night and day. The man in charge. What is his name?
Alrighty, guys. It is Quaman here today.
Quaman, do you have a ringtone for that? I feel like you have to have a ringtone just for that.
No, man.
And of course, you can hear his voice right now. The man who got rhymes and style. His name is...
Rhymestyle! Except for I don't rap or rhyme. But I got the name, and I'll keep the name.
Yeah, so basically in this video we're going to be talking about our theories on who we think created these Super Dragon Balls, these massive Dragon Balls. Now, we don't really know a lot about them thus far, but we have to assume that since they're called Super Dragon Balls, they might be a lot more powerful than the alternative, and Toriyama kind of seemed to imply that from his little thing right there that he talked about, where he talked about them, the Universe 6 arc, and stuff like that. So to start off our theories, I'm going to send it over to Rhymestyle so that he could start us off.
Ooh, it's funny because I think I have the most opposite theory, and this one might be kind of ridiculous too when you guys hear it. But honestly, because of how I assume the Super Dragon Balls have to be really, really powerful, and I have a huge theory that when you wish with the Super Dragon Balls, instead of scattering across a planet or that galaxy, I think the Super Dragon Balls get sent across universes. So I feel like, for example, in the manga, we know Champa is there doing something. I feel like he's in Universe 6 looking for the Dragon Balls. So I feel like because the Super Dragon Balls have to be that powerful and have that kind of consequence where it gets spread across the universe, is my theory. I think that they're the most powerful ones, and I think they give you the ability to grant a wish beyond any dragon's power. Something as if they wanted to make a wish, say, hey, kill Golden Frieza, I feel like the Super Dragon Balls could be strong enough to do something like that, because they have to be. They have to be super special. And with them being that powerful, I don't think they came from Namekians. Honestly, I think that in some shape or form, they came from the Whis race. I think the Whis race, whatever his race is, I think it was somebody in that world, in that universe, that actually created them, and they were probably created for the sole purpose to control the gods. Like, for some, let's say the gods of destruction decide to get unbalanced and just flip out, and one day just really try to destroy the entire meaning of existence. I feel like the Super Dragon Balls were created just to counteract something like that. So, and I like to believe that. I feel like that would be a good idea and a good way to add a different spin to the show. Because why else would they exist? Why would they exist, and what would they be for? They have to have something powerful there, and I think that's what they're there for.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting theory, and I didn't even think about the possibility of using them to keep the gods in control. I mean,
right. That
makes sense. Like, I mean, if you need something all-powerful to stop a bunch of super powerful gods who could blow up universes and stuff, so why not create that?
Because one more thing to add into it, because I feel like is with Whis, we know Whis is stronger than Beerus, and he's supposed to be there to kind of control and mentor him and kind of keep him in touch. I mean, we saw in Battle of Gods, the second he freaked out and started destroying his plants at the end of the movie, Whis knocked him out. I was like, okay, it's time for you to take a nap, you know. But what if a god rises above his assistant, his or her assistant, you know, and decides to do some pretty crazy stuff? I feel like that's what, you know, it's like a last-ditch effort there in case that happens, and I feel like that's what those Super Dragon Balls exist.
I mean, that definitely is a very interesting idea, and then, of course, we get into the whole idea of the hierarchy of how do these gods get chosen anyway, who puts the assistants in charge, is it some kind of natural mechanic of the machine of the universe, or is it something beyond that? But, Quaman, what is your theory as to who created these Super Dragon Balls?
That's a very good question, and I've thought about this for a while, and the first thing that I thought about before, you know, listening to Dino's part was I originally thought it was Katas. And for those of you who don't know, Katas is actually the father of the nameless Namekian that Guru mentioned when they got to Namek. And I felt that because he was essentially like the original Namekian that helped spawn the nameless Namekian, I would feel like because of the way Guru described him, he would have obviously the capabilities of creating a Dragon Ball of any type of sort along those lines. And I still believe it's still possible that the Namekians created the Dragon Ball simply because of the fact that if you look at the Namekians, they were implied a lot more in the anime than the manga, of course. They were implied a lot more to be involved with the intergalactic trade, as hence to why Vegeta and Nappa were able to identify him, because they would be somewhat aware of their race or their origins. So I still think it's really possible for the Namekians to have created them. The question is, like Dino was saying, how could you make Dragon Balls that powerful, you know? And it's kind of going along the lines of what happened in Dragon Ball GT with the whole Black Star Dragon Balls, how they go out into space and you kind of have to reverse those effects. But I still think that either Katas or some of the ancient Namekians would probably be the most responsible, considering that we've never heard any mention of anybody else creating the Dragon Balls.
Kwame,
Exactly.
just to clear it up, do you want to remind people what the Black Star Dragon Balls did in GT? Just
Yeah,
to have
sure.
a comparison of what we could possibly look at. Because obviously the Super Dragon Balls have to do something along those lines, but more powerful.
Yes.
Right, so basically what happened in Dragon Ball GT, the Black Star Dragon Balls basically caused Kid Goku to morph into a kid, and the effects of the magic were so powerful that they couldn't reverse it, and it would basically cause the entire Earth to blow up, even though Mike and I have discussed many times that there are some plot holes associated with that.
Yeah.
But basically, they had to go out in space to, like, essentially collect all of the Black Star Dragon Balls, and because of that, that's telling you that the magic is so powerful that you would have to go through a completely different type of metamorphosis to reverse the effects, such as Super Saiyan 4 Goku being so strong that actually reversed his kid form. That's how powerful the transformation was.
Yeah.
So when you look at what the Black Star Dragon Balls could do, like blowing up the Earth, if used, that's also telling me that we might go through a similar circumstance with the Super Dragon Balls.
And maybe in this case they blow up the universe, but I actually have a very similar theory to what Quaman said, and that is that I thought that perhaps it is possible that Katas was the one who created the Dragon Ball, Super Dragon Balls, or someone who is also an ancient Namekian. And in that case, I feel like there is some sort of supporting evidence for this. Now, although the only Namekian spaceship we ever see is the one that the nameless Namekian Kami Piccolo came on to the Earth, it heavily implies that obviously their race used to be a lot more advanced before, you know, the cataclysm that ended it. Also, considering that Piccolo, or the nameless Namekian, came from Katas, and they were a part of the same sort of species or, you know, clan of Namekians, the super powerful Dragon Clan, it would imply that Katas and people of that clan also probably could have made Dragon Balls. After all, Dende was supposedly from a similar clan, and he was able to make them and become a guardian as well. So, I feel like these Namekians possibly were super powerful before whatever caused, you know, the deluge and ended up killing them in the end. And I feel like it's very possible that maybe Katas or someone else was out in space, and that's why they know of the other Namekians, or maybe they used the wish to go to another universe, or something along those lines, and with their super powerful abilities, you know, this godly Namekian realm that they might possess, they were able to create these Dragon Balls that are super strong and could pretty much grant any wish. And another reason I kind of feel like it's the Namekians is also because Old Kai and what he said in Dragon Ball Z. And the thing is that Old Kai is tens of millions or however many millions of years old, and yet whenever someone mentioned the Dragon Balls, he talked about Namekians. You know, he kind of described them as cosmic cheat codes in the manga, for example. And he said, you know, only the Namekians are supposed to have them. Why are there Dragon Balls on Earth? So it seems like even millions of years ago, the Dragon Balls existed and were under control of the Namekians. So it's very possible that maybe some super powerful Namekian made these balls that can go all over the different universes, and that would be a great segue to get people to travel to each of them before maybe another cataclysm happens. But, I mean, what do you guys think, essentially, like, as your final thoughts? So you guys still think, essentially, that it was Whis' race, and you think, in your case, Quaman, that it was something similar to what mine was?
Right, in the sense that it's either an ancient Namekian or a Katas who had actually created it itself.
I'm going to stick with the Whis, because I feel like there has to be some kind of balance out there just to, well, not Whis himself, but like his race. There has to be some kind of balance out there to, like, control the gods. Because, again, if they were to flip out tomorrow and overpower their assistants, what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I really like that theory because, of course, it also kind of builds into the whole mechanisms. You know, they have a stronger servant to keep them in check, but if someone rises above that servant, they got to do something else because he's just going to be too powerful and upset the balance. And, of course, in Battle of Gods, they talked in depth about, you know, the balance of the gods of creation, the gods of destruction. So that definitely seems like something that makes sense.
Because I still believe what's going to end up happening later, this is just my theory, that I believe that the reason why Champa even wants the Super Dragon Balls, if they do the same story that they're doing in the manga, is to overthrow Beerus himself. So I feel like he's going to get those balls, either defeat Beerus or just get rid of him or something, and then do whatever he's trying to do.
It's very possible. I mean, why else would Champa be coming to our universe or the main universe in the first place? I mean, I wish it was our universe. That'd be cool, except for we'd always get blown up. But yeah, I mean, I think that we've all kind of covered our different theories. I mean, now, what do you guys think down below in the comment section? What do you think is your theory, essentially, as to what happened to create these balls? Is it Whis' race? Was it the Namekians? Or is it someone else? Don't forget to tell us your own theories and in detail down below. And of course, don't forget to check out Quaman's channel and Dino Rhymestyle's channel over there, which I'm showing you on the screen right now and will be in the description. And do you guys want to say your little intros or outros?
I know Kwame wants to do his, so I'll let him go ahead and jump into it.
Please, 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 remember, just remember, because all we ask as YouTubers, we'll make you videos for free and everything along those lines. But all we ask is that you just remember to do 3 simple things. The first thing is to rate. And by rate, I mean giving either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just rating the video or sharing your thoughts about it. And then when you comment, it's pretty self-explanatory. Comment, sharing your thoughts. Comments help us out. But if you subscribe, if you haven't already, that also helps us. And most importantly, that completely nullifies all that. Is what we care more about you. And we want you to have a great day, guys.